Welcome to the first Citizens King of the Hill, coverage of which is brought to you by Rock Hard Cement, Vision Equipment Supply and VP Fuels. This 2025 running of King of the Hill brings the largest set of competitors for the event to date, with over 120 entries from 13 countries from around the world. The results of this event create the seeding order for the upcoming Rally Barbados event in the following days, and importantly gives teams a taste of what's to come. The 4-kilometer stage throws a bit of everything at drivers and really puts each team through a further shakedown before the big event. This time around, let's have a look at first overall in each class and then build our way up to the top 10 overall at close of play. First up would be the pair of Dan Gibson and Dan Moorfield in their unique Clan Crusader in Historic 1, who would set a time faster than their closest rival by 6.83 seconds. Though the sole competitor in Historic 2, Robin Hamilton would put down some respectable times for most of the day to earn not just the class win but an overall finish by end of day. Separating himself from 15 other drivers in the hotly contested Clubman 2, or the Bimmer Cup class as it has become to be known, Chris Hode and Alan Alkins set themselves first in group. Sole competitor in Group N, Larry Doyle and Tommy Doyle would settle for a fastest time in group and 61st overall in their Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 7. Continuing his assault to gain as much points to secure his joint lead in the BRC and MCBI championships, Kevin Armstrong would secure a Clubman 3 win. Even with a bit more competition than he has during the year, Carlos Edwards would still end the day first in Modified 1. Taking first overall in Modified 3 would be Wayne Archer and Castro Waterman. First in Super Modified 1 with a comfortable fastest time, more than 9 seconds faster than any of his fellow club entries, would be Edward Corbin and Jonathan Allen. Fastest in Modified 2, even with an increased set of competitors in group. This time around, Neil Corbian and Matthew Staffner would take the group win. Coming into this event, we knew Modified 4 would be the group to watch, but the 1.82 seconds separating Kurt Thompson from brother Mark Thompson certainly offered more drama than expected. With some last-minute changes to his car's classification, Simon John Joseph would find himself in the Open RGT class, to which he was the sole competitor, and would be the winner of that class by end of day. Winner of the illustrious Super Modified 2 group win for this year, with the title of fastest two-wheel driver, would be Roger Mayers, who would further this record and illustrate that he was the man to beat this coming weekend. Here is a look at some of the action that didn't make it into our writer's script. Now let's have a look at the top 10 at the conclusion of all 4 runs. Rounding up the top 10 would be Kevin Proctor with a stellar drive in his Ford Fiesta S2000T. Next up would be fellow countrymen Joe Cunningham and Josh Beer in the Ford Fiesta WRC, who end the day 9th overall and 2nd in group. With significant competition in the R5 group, Rob Swan and Tom Woodburn would end the day 8th overall and 7th in group. 7th overall would be Suleiman Yusuf and Asif Suleiman, who certainly surprised all, with such a dominant comeback after being away from the Rally 2 machinery for some time. 5th in group and 6th overall would be a respectable benchmark for the pair of Mark Maloney and Justin Maloney going into Rally Barbados. At one point seemingly able to take a podium, Jeffrey Panton and Michael Fennell Jr. would end the day 5th overall on their first outing in the Ford Fiesta Rally 2. Adam Malaliu stated that for King of the Hill, he just wanted to finish and he would think about seeding after. Well, he did just that, and one off from podium that would see him and Steve McNulty 4th overall. By just 1.52 off of the top step, Kyle Gregg and Krieg Yearwood make it onto the podium this time around. .92 of second would be the factor that would decide whether Dane Skeet would secure his crown in 2025. A hard-fought battle, but based on each run, there was much to improve for Rally Barbados. First winner of King of the Hill, that time as a co-driver and now another win as a driver this time around. Stuart Maloney seemed quite calm and collective for most of the day. Here is what he had to say now going into Rally Barbados to defend his crown.
So I think the car in itself is working great on all surfaces. We're doing an upgrade this week, so we're doing the 25 package this week. So we have some performance going into Rally Barbados that we didn't have this weekend. So I'm looking forward to see how that goes. And you know, anybody in the top 10 come Rally Barbados can stand on the podium at the end of the day. So I think we just need to try to do what we know we have to do and be the best at it, and hopefully it's good enough to put us in first at the end of Rally Barbados on Sunday.
And just like that, shakedowns, test events, King of the Hill, and we are now at the doorstep of the region's Blue Ribbon event. 122 competitors with class wins, championship points and bragging rights all on the table this weekend for BCIC Rally Barbados 2025. Like and subscribe our YouTube page and follow us on Instagram and Facebook to keep up to date on the action this weekend. See you on the stages.